Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix. It's the DC Comics Review Show number 152 in the Geek Matrix, the world's greatest comic show about the world's greatest superheroes. It's Rob here, and joining me, as always, are my wonderful co-hosts, Brandon.
Hello, everybody.
And Josh.
That's me. Howdy, howdy.
And I'm missing the dad jokes. What the hell?
I've had a pretty insane last couple of weeks. Sorry about that. We'll get them back on track.
Understandable. But
Understandable.
This server changeover has been a hell of an undertaking, among other things, I imagine.
Yeah.
Life has a way of life
has a way of being just like life.
I was gonna quote Jurassic Park, but then I was like, I second guessed myself, and then I fucked up the line. Yeah.
Well, Holly would have appreciated that. And I mean, it just is what it is. I hope everything's going good in your guys' neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's all right. Got vacation coming up.
Nothing really major to report.
Yeah.
Just enjoying summer.
Right on. Well, I finally got my two big time collectibles Green Lantern covers after almost 2 freaking months.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm so stoked. And when my wife found out how much they cost, she looked very disappointed in me. She doesn't understand.
Bruh, I straight up told you, like, if I bought one of those, I would have had to buy all of them. And then I would have arranged them in, like, this framed plexiglass thing and put them up on the wall. I could not have stopped at just one. So major props to you, my man, because...
I mean, to be fair, I bought 2. But I did set my limit to 2, despite the fact that there was at least 5 I wanted and 9 I needed. So,
right,
yeah, but I got 2. I got green and yellow, and I'm happy about it. They're gorgeous. And if you haven't seen the big time collectibles covers, the exclusive covers for Green Lantern #1 that came out in May, check them out.
They're super cool.
They have variant covers of the same style for almost every big issue. Flash 800 and Wonder Woman 800 have one. Batman 900 has one. There was a recent issue was something to do with Superman. I don't remember what it was. Had one. They all look really freaking good. So definitely check it out. I am so happy. It's the only comic I own 3 copies of, and they're all different.
Well, that is something to be proud of.
I guess. Doesn't sound like it, but I am proud of it. Yeah.
But guys, I'll be right back. I got to take a phone call. Just keep going.
All right.
Hey, no problem. So,
no problem.
I would like to quote Kirk earlier in Discord. Final Fantasy 16 has come out. PlayStation 5 only, of course. For the first time ever, a Final Fantasy game has been released, and we're giving a date of when it will be available on other platforms. So whoop whoop PC, that'll be December 31st of this year. Mind blown that it's coming that fast too. I'm really looking forward to it. And even if there's a delay, saying that it's coming in 6 months is way better than what all the rest of them were. And that's saying, I don't know.
Wait, just a question, Josh, because this sounds oddly familiar. Where did you see that information?
What's that?
The date, the release date.
PC Gamer.
Okay, that maybe it's a little bit more legit, because I've seen other games in the past where there's still kind of a tentative release date, and they just put that there as a placeholder date, the end of the year. Like, we know it's coming at some point. So we just don't know when. So we're just going to say the very last day of the year. But most of the time that's the case of either that's the exact date or it's coming sooner.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
never mind. I just
Well, no,
read.
no, but the
I
fact
no
that
no.
it's
Hold
on
on.
PC Gamer.
I
Yeah.
just read more.
Oh, okay.
Um, and while the PS5 exclusivity expires after 6 months, that it is a completely different story for other versions and their releases. So we shall
Mm,
see. Because Final Fantasy 15 took like 2 years
yeah.
to get to PC,
Yeah.
which sucked ass.
Well,
I
that's
still loved
also
it though. Final Fantasy
Sony.
15 was fun as hell.
Sony still doesn't play well with others. They think
No,
exclusives are the whole point of the entire market.
yo,
And I think
the the funny part
as
of
gamer culture, the idea of console exclusives is kind of outdated. And if you're gonna sell me on a console, sell me on how good the console is, not on the games I can play on it. Because I'm not gonna shell
man,
out
tell me
600,
about it.
$700 on a piece of machine to play two games that I can't play anywhere else. When
Bro,
I could
tell me
get
about it.
this other console that I do like and has tons of games I want to play, and it's $100 cheaper. Plus, I can play a lot of the same games I can play in yours, except for two games. I think I'll live without. It
Yeah.
doesn't really seem worth it. So
See
this whole idea
now,
of exclusivity is not really good for the market anymore.
I'm weird. I'm the guy that prefers the the DS controllers to Xbox. I've always been a PlayStation fan. I've always owned PlayStations instead of Xboxes. But my last console was an Xbox One, and I got tired of it, got bored. Um, but I want a PlayStation 5. I want one just because it's a PlayStation, but
Yeah,
I won't do that.
yeah,
The usually Sony's exclusive releases make their way to PC. It always takes a very long time for that to fucking happen. And it, like you said, that's the only draw to buying a PS5. And I mean, if I had silly money, yeah, I'd drop it, to be
yeah,
able to do that because I would love to be able to play Final Fantasy 16 now, or a Spider-Man game when it first comes out.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's enough to drop that kind of money.
It certainly isn't for me. Not when you could take that money and get most of a computer that can run those same games, plus so much more. And there's the Xbox has so many options in Game Pass that
Eh,
you pay a price and you can play it on your phone, your PC, and your console. Right? It's Sony is losing. If there even still is a console war, I think Sony's losing. But that's just me.
I mean, 980 something dollars. That's what I ended up spending on this computer that I
Yeah,
won.
exactly.
Intel i5, 32 gigabytes of memory, and and an RTX 3060 Ti. Not too freaking bad. You could definitely
Exactly.
get a computer
For
that'll
somebody
handle
that knows what those
playing that.
letters and numbers mean, they'll definitely agree with you.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good deal there, but
From what
I was just
think
backing
in
you up.
my own like research for PC building, the 3060 is really good.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the 30 series and now the 40 series just came out,
Right.
and that's insane and also insanely priced.
Yeah.
It is good to see that the crypto bubble burst, and as such, video cards are starting to drop back down to normal prices. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
That shit was getting ridiculous. I couldn't upgrade for the longest time because I wasn't going to pay $2,000 to get a hell at the time an RTX 2060. Just wasn't not gonna happen, man. That's
No,
crazy.
definitely not. Uh, shit. I had a thought and I just lost it. Oh, I hate when that happens.
Well, did you have any other
I
did you
do have
have
other news.
any other news going on?
I don't know if I'll be able to look at my notes because I'm watching Green Lantern the animated series now.
Oh no.
Because of Josh's background. Is this episode 1 again? Yeah, beware my power. God damn it. That's such a good show. Well, speaking of cinematics, we had a whole bunch of Marvel stuff this week, actually. But first
Oh
off,
yeah,
because
that's
there's a
right.
few things I want to, excuse me, pick Brandon's brain about, so I got to wait for him to come back to talk about some of it. But I'll start off with Craven the Hunter had a trailer this week, and my God,
I
have you
have
watched
not
it?
seen it yet. I have not
Okay,
seen it.
okay.
Um, and I
I
missed the discussion. I wasn't able to get in on the discussion that was
it,
happening in our Discord at the time.
it was a very short discussion. I
It
think at
was
the
a
time I
very
was still
short
the only
discussion.
one that had watched it, so it didn't really. I was really the only one that knew what was being talked about. So I was surprised Kirk hadn't got back to me yet because I think that was like 2-3 days ago. The trailer dropped. Uh, you are a fan. You enjoyed. You did like Morbius.
I did.
Yeah. So you might like this because it looks just based on the trailer, it looks like the same freaking movie.
I'm watching it. I'm
Yeah.
watching it now as we speak. I'm seeing the guy
Yeah.
that's Craven. He's
Yeah.
he's a
There is
metahuman.
one spot in the trailer, one moment in the trailer that made me go, "What the fuck?" And I hope you pick up on it.
Well, I mean, Craven being able to outrun a car.
Let's wait till they do the flashback sequence to when he's younger with his dad, because that was a fucking doozy.
This seems to be.
Oh man.
Oh, for the
Oh,
love of
it was.
fucking
Is that the lion?
yeah.
Yeah, he got bit by a radioactive lion, and now he has the powers of a hunter.
He got bit by a radioactive lion.
Yeah,
And
not really.
now,
He's not actually radioactive, listeners. So the lion's not actually. It's just a regular lion, but he got bit by it, left for dead, and
oh,
then the
and
lion
a drop
bled,
of blood from the lion dropped into his wound.
and all of a sudden he's super fast, super strong, and has like
He's an apex predator.
advanced hearing. Yeah, he's basically Lion Man. Now, before the trailer dropped, I found out the trailer dropped because I was seeing some reactions on Twitter, and somebody tagged Gail Simone and posted her origin that she wrote for Catman.
Yeah.
And it's practically the same freaking thing. Like shot for shot, it's the origin for Catman. Down to the
This
daddy
is
issues and the bad hunt gone wrong.
this is absolute the whole thing about great. Oh my god.
Yeah, they missed the point entirely.
Missed the point entirely. And
I
what him getting draped in spiders is why he hates Spider-Man?
I don't even know where to begin with that scene. Like that might be a tease at something, but it also might just be stupid. I was cautiously optimistic for this movie, but it does not look interesting in the slightest.
No, this looks like a very, very, very cheap knockoff of Underworld.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Kirk mentioned when he jumped on off the wall, it looked like an early 2000s werewolf movie. And I
Yep.
was trying to find out where I remember seeing a shot like that, and all I could think of was Underworld.
Yep, and that's
So
exactly what that looks like, man.
yeah,
All of the movements, all of the everything. We're getting fucking Underworld again. And don't get me wrong, I love the Underworld series. I'd leave Holly for Kate Beckinsale in a second, but I'm just kidding. Padma though, holy shit.
oh god, yeah.
She's the perfect woman. I'm just saying, and like
Yeah.
Holly's aware of this. Like if it'd be gone. It'd be gone. It'd be a hug, a kiss, and see you later. Thank you. But well,
yeah,
shit.
no,
What was I talking about?
uh, Craven
Underworld.
the Bunter. Underworld.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the grimy the eye transformation.
Yeah.
The slow-mo shots during the impactful action scenes, the werewolf jumps off the wall, the parkour that you see in it all looks like Underworld. And let's be honest, the guy playing Craven, I couldn't tell you what his name is, but he looks like Scott Speedman from Underworld.
Oh, that's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay, well, Aaron Taylor Johnson looks like Scott Speedman from Underworld. At least in this.
He was Quicksilver and he was Kick-Ass.
And he was Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Kick-Ass.
You know what? I mean, the name never got attached for me, but I didn't like Quicksilver and I did like Kick-Ass.
You didn't like Quicksilver? You did like Quicksilver?
I didn't like Quicksilver. I didn't like the character.
Yeah.
Thought it was odd. I just didn't feel like it fit Quicksilver. But he did great as Kick-Ass. And I mean, I'm not knocking the guy's ability here. He looks like he's got chops, you know.
Yeah.
I really don't think they should have made Craven a werelion.
No, it's like they read 2 Craven comics from the 70s or whatever. I don't even know when Craven debuted, and saw that he wore a lion vest and thought, okay, he has lion powers because that's all of Spider-Man's enemies. They're animal based. So, and that's as far as they went with research.
Yeah, man, I don't even know if it's like, wait, so why is this guy a threat? Like, okay, so Rhino gets the Rhino suit, Vulture gets the Vulture suit, Morbius, he's a vampire. You know, I mean, all of these make sense. Why is this Craven guy such a threat? He just shoots people? That doesn't make any sense. That'd be the cop's problem. You know what he needs? He needs lion powers.
Yeah.
That explains everything. Way to go, Brad. No.
And the whole he died and feline like blood brought him back to life is very reminiscent of Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Oh, so super much.
Yeah, and we all know how that went down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least this guy is not dressed as a leather daddy.
Yet.
Well, tanned hide daddy, though, maybe? I don't know.
We haven't seen... We did see kind of a silhouette of the lion vest. So we don't know how leather-clad he will be.
That's very true. Oh,
yeah.
No. Oh,
and at some point,
no.
Rhino, if you saw the end of the trailer, Rhino will be in it and not in a metal suit. Instead, he's going to be a freaking metahuman.
Which is dumb as hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. It's a fucking choice. It's not
why?
hard.
I mean, these characters have stuck around and have had great stories about them.
I mean, okay, hang on. They've been in Spider-Man comics. Let's be careful about great stories.
Well, I mean, okay, so true, but they have been in plenty of fan favorite stories, and Kraven the Last Hunt was a really good story.
That's true. I'll give you that.
The rest of them have all appeared in fan favorites, or are all let's say beloved as like Flash's rogues gallery. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody knows him. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you know all of the typical Sinister Six or whatever it is you want to call them.
yeah.
And
Even if
these
you're not
guys
a
are,
Spider-Man fan, you still know the villains.
yeah. And to have them just go through and change them all, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? I
Get
mean, okay.
get a big guy that's like Vinnie Jones sized and put him in a leather suit with horns. And not shiny leather, like rough leather, like rhino skin. And that's how you get Rhino.
That would be good.
It's very simple, Sony. You've done this twice now, and
Oh,
you
I
fucked it
mean,
up both
hell,
times.
yeah. I was gonna say use an exoskeleton, but then maybe we'll get
they
what we had last time.
they did, and it didn't work. They had
They just
Paul
had to go
Giamatti with a
fucking.
bad Russian accent
That's it was
in a
what?
freaking vehicle.
Oh, that wasn't Paul Giamatti. I'm almost positive, right?
That was Paul
Is
Giamatti.
look, because there's that dude that's in Stranger Things. See, and I was thinking this, so maybe I'm wrong, but there's that guy in Stranger Things that looks so much like Paul Giamatti
Oh, but it was actually Paul
that
Giamatti.
it's was it? Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
think it was. I thought it was the other guy that the
no,
he plays the Russian dude, the paranoid guy in Stranger Things. And oh my god, dude, look him up. You're talking
yeah.
like identical twins. It's fucking insane. No, I thought it was that guy. His name escapes me, of course, but
I gotta look him up because I'm not sure who you're talking about.
I wish I could remember the guy's name. It'd probably be a lot easier to look up, but
Yeah,
I guess Russian guy in Stranger Things.
could be. I'm gonna double check his IMDb page, Paul Giamatti's IMDb page, just to be sure that I'm right. Uh, yeah, there he is, Amazing Spider-Man 2 as Alexei.
Hold on one second, because I'm gonna find this guy.
Guard. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, but that was definitely Paul Giamatti. Uh, in just the weirdest casting choice I've ever seen. Yeah.
All right,
So
so I got it. It's Yuri. Oh no, that's the character's name. Nicola Dorico, or I guess it would be Dorico. That he looks ridiculously like him.
Derek. Oh, he's Serbian. I I'll be honest, I don't see it.
Put you'd have to watch. It doesn't look like it at all in the pictures. Go watch him in the show where he's got that big crazy beard and his hair's all out, and he just like when Paul Giamatti looks crazy. This guy, I mean, spitting image. You'll see what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
fair enough. I'll see what I can find. Uh yeah, so that's Craven the Hunter. It's a thing. It
It's a
shouldn't
thing.
be. It really shouldn't be. And after this, at some point, is uh El Muerto.
El Muerto.
El Muerto. For some fucking reason. A
That's
character
who's.
that
That's the next one.
no, that's the next one.
Oh, for
Wait, maybe. At least that's the next big villain. But they're also doing Madam Web. And
yeah,
I
20
don't know
bucks. They fucked
why.
that up.
Seriously. Yeah, I
You know how like I get geeked out for my favorite comic characters to get a spin in a new movie.
yeah.
Um, that's one that I'm not. It's like Madam Web. I'm not a huge fan of, but hearing that they are going to do Madam Web makes me worry that they're going to start tackling other things outside of Spider-Man, like Silk. And if they do Silk and they fuck up the Silk movie, I'm gonna boycott. I'm gonna make a commercial.
Josh, I hate to tell you, Silk is rumored to be part of this universe.
Oh no. Are
And
you
I
serious?
don't remember if it's for her own movie or for part of Madam Web.
Oh God.
Yeah. I don't remember.
No.
Also part of Madam Web rumored is Erana.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Erana. I don't remember the actual character's name, but just remember when she debuted, her hero name was Erana, and
That
then
sounds
became
so
the
familiar and
new
I can't.
Spider Woman or Arachne or whatever. Yeah. If you Google that Arana Spider Man or Arana Marvel, you'll see who I'm talking about. I don't remember the character's name though, but she's rumored to be a part of it too.
Spider Woman?
She's very close to Jessica Drew, or not Jessica Drew, Carpenter. I don't remember the first name. I just remember Carpenter. Shit. Who
Anya?
became Madam Web? Yeah, Anya
Anya,
Corazon. That's it.
yeah. Anya Hart.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, they're rumored to be part of it, and Black Cat and the Silver Sable.
Oh goodness. Well, Black Cat, I already know they're gonna fuck that up. Um,
I could be wrong, but I think it's the two of them together in one movie.
Silver Sable. See, Silver Sable would depend on who they get. But like all the people that I'm popping into my head, like the female action people that we've seen, I think all of them would look rather silly with silver hair.
Yeah, let's face it, it's going to be a very light blonde. It's not going to be silver.
Well, that's atrocious.
Yeah, it's I
Look, I'll
man,
take
I
all of
wish I
it.
knew what Sony was doing.
I don't care. Honestly, like I do care because like all the Spider-Man side heroes are the ones that I really dig. Yeah. But like they can do whatever they want with Madam Web. They can do whatever they want with Silver Sable. Black Cat, there's nothing I can do about that's gonna obviously happen, and they're going to really screw that up. But just leave Silk out of it. Just
Yeah,
leave
I
Silk.
think
There's no reason to bring her into it, or Ghost Spider. Just for the record,
What is this?
Sony's cinematic Spider-Man universe.
Nice.
Yeah, because the Craven the Hunter trailer dropped earlier this week,
Oh,
and
I have not seen that.
you're
I
good.
wouldn't waste the time.
No,
Actually,
Yeah.
if you want a good laugh,
it will make you
definitely
mad.
definitely
Oh,
watch it for a
okay.
good laugh. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Okay, I'll give you this.
The quick recap, since we already said it in the podcast.
When he was young, he went on a hunt with his father. This is Sergey, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and he didn't want to shoot the lion, so the lion attacked him, bit him, and he died. And then the lion
Ripped
bled
blood.
into his
Yeah.
wound, and then he came back to life with lion powers. And now he's a hunter again.
Yeah.
The apex predator.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about that, Brandon?
If I can be very blunt, I could not care less.
That is fair and probably for the best. Well, on to something I hope you care a bit about. Well, since we're talking about cinema first, I'll jump into this first. There's been two invasions in Marvel earlier this week, conveniently on the same day. Secret Invasion, the TV series on Disney Plus, the first episode dropped. I really like it. It's facing a lot of controversy with a lot of fans, but I think it's quite good so far. Have you two had a chance to check it out, or are you going to?
No.
Fair enough.
I eventually will, but I'm never like right on top of it.
Probably not. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could.
Are you still talking?
I think he might be.
Oh.
That I usually don't. I actually have really liked all of the Marvel TV shows that have come out. That I mean, I didn't really get into What If. I just picked through some episodes that seemed like they might be fun. I think I ended up watching like 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Agent Carter was okay. Uh Shield started out okay, but that was ridiculous. But everything that's like MCU now, like I loved Shield. I thought that was great. I loved Ms. Marvel. I really enjoyed that. It
Yeah.
wasn't gritty and stuff, but it wasn't supposed to be. It was about a teenage girl learning superpowers, and I mean, I think they did a great
Exactly.
job.
Yeah.
Moon Knight. Moon Knight is, as it stands right now, my absolute number one favorite superhero show of all time.
Oh, right on.
Um, that said, the stuff that's directly related to the MCU for some reason, and maybe I'm not gonna say it's for some reason. I guess it's just because I'm so unattracted to the cinematic portion of the MCU that like these tie-ins, like which one is it that's on Secret Invasion right now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And like I've seen it on there, but I haven't had the itching to watch it yet. I might watch it in like a week or so. But so I said all of that to say you can feel free to spoil it for me.
I'll give it a few days for listeners because I won't spoil it just yet. But there is kind of a big twist at the end of the first episode.
Horse shit. Spoiler warning. Skip 2 minutes ahead. Tell me.
Brandon,
Beep, beep, beep.
Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm probably just not going to watch it.
Okay.
So you can go ahead.
All right. There's been so far no major Skrull reveals. They had Everett Ross, who was in the Black Panther movies.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the first episode, revealed to be a Skrull, but I think they're kind of hinting at the fact that that was not the same Ross from the Black Panther movies, and it was just a recent cover of Ross. So Ross is still alive because that Skrull is dead. I
Mm-hmm.
believe. They didn't really make a big deal about it after they shot him. But at the end of the first episode, uh, Agent Maria Hill does get shot and dies.
Oh, wow. No, that's a big drop.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen them killing her off, given
that
her
was a
such
twist.
fan favorite status.
Exactly.
It surprised the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, that was a bit of a reveal. Um, if that's the direction the show's going, that's certainly not what I was expecting. So I'm intrigued. Because I was expecting a whole bunch of just this person's a Skrull and this person's a Skrull and that person's a Skrull, like because that was the whole fun of the first half of the book was finding out who was a Skrull and who wasn't, and
Right.
just feeling uneasy about the entire world because you don't know what the hell's going on and who's really your friend and who's your enemy. Um, which they definitely still have that kind of vibe, but not to the same degree. So far, it's still really just like an espionage story, which is very interesting.
Which always makes for a good story. So, I
Yeah,
mean, check it out. Check it
yeah,
out.
it's
What were your
worth a look.
feelings about Ultimate Invasion?
Yeah, that was my next point: is Ultimate Invasion, and I've been waiting to hear from Brandon about this because Brandon and Kirk, when it first got announced, they had some words to say, and now the first issue's out, so I'm very curious.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot. And I don't want to take up too much time before we actually get into our reviews, but
Yeah,
suffice it to say, it's heading towards something pretty big, which I know sounds all very vague, but I also want to avoid spoilers. But I think for anyone who got to the ending and sort of realized what had happened, especially with the Maker,
Yeah.
it sort of reveals that the Maker's plans are a lot bigger than anything that the Illuminati could have foreseen, which sort of hints at that one line. And again, I don't want to give it away. The Maker says something along the lines of to read basically, knowing everything that you know now, if you could do it all over again. He's obviously talking about Secret Wars when him and the Molecule Man basically rebuilt the multiverse. But he said, "Would you erase me from the universe?" And he basically has a moment, like a pregnant pause, and he's like, "Yes." Because I think Reed in that moment realized what the Maker was planning. And they sort of been hinting at this thing for anyone who'd read Venom of all things, which I was not surprised to see there was a special thanks to Donny Cates in the credits. But they've sort of been hinting at the Maker's desire to do something for a while now. And Reed sort of getting the scope of his plans before anyone else, I think, is a pretty big moment. So there's a lot there, but I think the biggest takeaway for me was like the Maker's plans are a lot bigger than I think anyone could foresee. As for how I feel about it, it's still pretty early, so I don't really know. It's always nice to see the Maker back to play, and especially him writing the Maker. But it's definitely a much different story than I think I was expecting. Because I kind of went in thinking maybe it would be kind of a continuation of some of the stuff that he had established on his run on Ultimates. But, obviously that universe kind of came to a close in 2015. And then I don't know, I think they referenced the fact that it was bad, but they never really followed up on that. I don't know if you read Spider-Man 2, but the ending of Spider-Man 2 kind of hinted that the Ultimate Universe was still alive. And it kind of been restored into its former condition. But yeah, I get the sense that this is kind of ignoring that and is trying to establish like a whole different thing, which I think is in line with the Maker's character, as he's always trying to evolve and create new things and everything. But yeah, no, it was a lot to think about.
Yeah, definitely had that twist ending in the epilogue that I don't think anybody would have expected. But I also don't know any of the history in the Venom comics. I didn't read all of that for Donny Cates' run, so I didn't realize that Maker was even a part of that story. So I didn't realize that there was already hints coming.
Yeah.
This being fresh for me it is pretty freaking amazing. I think I've really enjoyed the Ultimate series, like the whole line, for the most part. So I'm ecstatic that they're bringing it back, but it's certainly going to be different. Again, I'm not giving anything away.
That's key, because I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to recapture the magic. And I know it gets a lot of flack these days, but honestly, like the original run of Millar and Hitch on the Ultimates is actually pretty good. Like, I mean, yes, there's stuff that is horribly dated. There's stuff that's like ridiculous, and there are a lot of Millarisms and dialogue and character beats. But I mean, I can revisit that multiple times, and I'll still be like, yeah, this is a pretty good story. So it's not great. I don't want to make it sound like it's some astonishing piece of work, but it's pretty good for what it is, which is just a reinterpretation of the origin of the Avengers. So there's good stuff in the original Ultimates. Obviously, Ultimate Spider-Man is a fan favorite, and one that doesn't get talked about enough, but it's actually pretty solid, is the some of the stuff on Ultimate Fantastic Four. So there's some good stuff, buried amongst the trash.
Yeah, it's definitely some interesting stuff. And no, Ultimate Fantastic Four gave birth to Marvel Zombies, and if that's something you're into, then you should be happy Ultimate Universe existed.
Yeah.
All right. So check that out for sure. Oh yeah, the last thing, Incredible Hulk. Philip Kennedy Johnson's premiere issue dropped
Oh,
this week.
he's writing the Hulk, huh?
Yeah. Have you checked that out yet, Brandon?
Yep.
What?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we could hear you at the time. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't spend too much time on it. Just I thought it was pretty freaking good.
Yeah,
Would
we're
you
living in an age of monsters,
exactly?
or soon to be an age of monsters.
Yeah. Um. Very horror
Yeah.
centric,
I,
which I
I,
think is a
I
very
will I will
good draw
say,
for Hulk.
yeah, I was mildly surprised because obviously they're backtracking because I think the last volume of Hulk was crazy and ridiculous, and everyone was like, "Fuck no!"
Yeah.
So they really wanted to go back to the horror stuff, which I think was the smart move, just kind of keeping Hulk in that horror centric. Not that you can't take the character in different directions, but I think it worked so well that people kind of weren't ready to give that up. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that was the smart move. But I was surprised to see that this book actually did make reference to the previous run, like pretty
Yeah.
explicitly, but just kind of built up on that and just made it its own thing. So I got to say, props to Philip Kennedy Johnson, where you can be given what others might see as like a trough of shit, but still make it work. Like seriously, because I mean, he came on
Yeah.
Action Comics at arguably the book's lowest point, where everyone had kind of dropped off and
Oh,
interest
yeah.
was not there, and then just completely turned it around while still, keeping the canon up, but basically just turning it into something that would work for him. And I think this was the same thing. It's like, okay, Hulk's psyche has been broken like twice in the past year or so. How do I
Yeah.
spin that to my advantage to tell a great horror story while also incorporating it into the new Age of Monsters, Mother of Monsters story that I'm trying to tell people? So it was good. It was really good, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah, I was listening to PKJ's interview on the podcast of Boa, and he
Uh-huh.
actually made reference to that when they were talking about his upcoming John Stewart story.
Yeah,
How they had the Jeffrey Thorne run was very John centric, and they were asking if his story is going to make any reference to what was going on there, and he did point out that he thinks continuity is very important. If a character that I'm going to be writing had this adventure just before it, I don't want to ignore that happened. It happened, and I'll build off of it while still telling the story I want to tell. And
yeah,
he definitely shows it here, and is going to show it in Green Lantern, and maybe not as much in Action Comics, but he definitely didn't ignore anything. He just told a different story. So I
yeah,
appreciate that idea that he has. Even if, like you said, some people might think the previous stuff was a drop of shit, but he'll still acknowledge that it happened. Don't just
yeah.
forget stuff.
Well, the thing that for me that really always does it is like, okay, if what happened previously was controversial and kind of crazy and was not received all that well by fans, it's not necessarily that we just kind of brush it aside and pretend it never happened, although sometimes that can kind of work. But it's more like, okay, is there a way? And actually, this is kind of crazy because I think I said this exact same thing 2 years ago, and it just came to my mind. Um, but it's more of like, okay, I have to work with whatever was left over, right? Like take the Bendis run, for example. Like I
Yeah,
have to use adult John. How do I use that to my advantage to tell the story that I want to tell? And then being able to kind of come up with a creative solution to that, you can tell a great story. Because I think, oh my God, that was probably like some of the earliest reviews we did for Infinite Frontier. But if I'm remembering correctly what I said, I think it was like, if I'm stuck with teenage John, how do I play that to my advantage to tell a story about Clark and his son? So it kind of translates to everything, which is I think is always brilliant when people can twist a story that was not as good into a story that is good.
yeah. That now that you mention that does sound kind of familiar.
That's I'm sitting here thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, because that would have been around the time of the AC story where John came back from the future and he read the history books, and this is where my father dies. How do I save his life? And like, yeah, so
that was the golden age.
right on the money. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So damn, like PKJ, man, what a goddamn writer. So freaking good.
That's the skill of a writer. You can just kind of come in and be like, okay, it's unavoidable, but if I can use it to my advantage and tell a good story, like, hey, why not? So
exactly. Yeah. All right. With that, you guys got any other news? Because I'm all tapped out.
About the only other thing that is worth mentioning really is the Batman One Bad Day collection came out. You can buy the box now, and it comes with the box, but also Riddler One Bad Day. And in the One Bad Day line, they didn't have a Joker book, so they're going to throw one in for you. I think it counts. You're getting the Killing Joke in hardcover as well as a part of the book, as part of the box set. That you can do all of that. You can buy them as they come out, or you can go ahead and pre-order the full box set now. I think it comes out in August, and it's going to be about $150.
Yeah, for basically 9 hardcovers. Hell yeah.
Yes. Yep. And let's be honest, for $150, that kind of treatment, those were not bad stories.
Yeah.
A few of them were pretty damn good. That's about
I were you, I would save that money and I would spend it on literally any other omnibus that's worth $150. I think the JLA omnibus is worth $150. The upcoming Green Lantern Corps omnibus is worth $150.
Green Lantern Corps.
Save your money and buy some new
yes.
Yeah, because that Tomasi run is so choice. So freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. Oh, the Invisibles omnibus that I'm staring that's at my feet right now is also worth $150. And you can probably find it for cheaper online. So save your money and buy something that's actually worth it.
Yeah, you could spend half that amount and get all of Jeff Johns' run on the Flash, which I can testify that is fucking awesome.
Seriously. Or I'll do you one even better. They recently just did the omnibus for The Question, and I think those have dropped in price too on Amazon. So you can take that money and buy both omnibuy for probably less than $150 and read a much better story. There are a lot of other options for you to choose from.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that last one. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Well, now that we've mentioned the living shit out of that, let me go ahead and mention these other things, and then I'm going to assume we're going to take a commercial, come back, and talk about some books, huh?
I think we should.
Before we do that, let me just really briefly mention the books that we're not going to be covering on this show. The Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, #3. You are going to want to read this run. It is fun. It looks decent. And in the back is a little surprise. It seems to be an intro to Alan Scott's story, but at the end it says next up Constantine and the Demon. So I'm kind of confused there. What we did get was that was a pretty, I mean, I want to read that story now. So I don't know if these are like intros to the books.
You never will. That's the problem. These backups are just the teasers. They're the 4 or 5 page teasers for other stories in the round robin that did not win.
Well,
and
they're
I'm really annoyed that they're doing this.
Yeah, well,
because the last 3 were really fucking good.
Yeah, this is pissing me off. All right. So there's that. Black Adam #12. Black Adam will return. This was an epic conclusion for a 12-issue run. I loved nearly every single issue. And White Knight presents Generation Joker #2. This, so far, first and second book, nothing like the White Knight Presents series thus far, other than it's just as good. You would like it. If you're into WKP at all, you will be into this. Promise. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. Well, with that, We are going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with the Geek Matrix. I nearly flubbed that line.
Hey,
Yeah, it's still fresh, folks.
certainly is.
Yeah. All right. We are getting into our main reviews for the week. Starting off with Cyborg number 2. And this is written by Morgan Hampton with art from Tom Rainey and Valentine DeLandro, colors from Michael Attier, letters from Rob Lee, and a very nice cover from Edwin Galmon. So, very short summary. Cyborg picks up where we left off in issue 1 with Silas appearing in Victor's childhood bedroom as a robot. Victor kind of subdues him and takes him to get tested. But everything about this seems a little odd. It's definitely Silas's emotions, but it's still all robot. Uh, it's kind of like an AI Silas, and it's very confusing as to how the hell this happened. So Victor downloads or uploads Silas's mind into his own body, but has to, on the way to get him tested elsewhere, has to stop a break-in first, and he does that complete with the criticism his father tends to give him the whole freaking time. So Victor's none too happy about all this, but they make it back to Solus HQ, or not Solus HQ. They were at Solus HQ. They go to get tested at another laboratory, where Silas is then uploaded into a bigger computer to be debugged and repaired because they discovered that the data is corrupted. And as the debugging is finished, Silas pops on the screen and says he remembers everything and that they need to get to Solus HQ quickly, and he'll explain on the way. Very corporate espionage so far. It's certainly an interesting story.
Oh man, I don't know. First, hey, go and look at the on the first page, the third and fourth panel with the red line connecting them. It's a little nitpick, but I still can't figure out what the fuck that was supposed to be. As far as the art goes, I'm not a big fan of DeLandro. This book here in this issue is kind of reminding me of that Wonder Woman book. What was it? Dead Earth? Maybe I'm not thinking of the right one. And then switch to Tom Rainey. And while I do love his backgrounds work, his character work just isn't pretty to me.
Are you talking about the red line on that panel with Cyborg where it goes to his face?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of just like a zoom in thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Silas is looking at him on a camera.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just did not pick that up. I'm like, what the hell is that?
I didn't even notice the red line.
But I'm suddenly worried about the book, man. This issue showed us what the story really is. And I feel like it could be cool, but so this issue I feel handled the story kind of in a mediocre way. I'm not sure what it is, but it just doesn't. This book had big stuff happen in it, but it didn't feel big. I guess that's the best way for me to say it.
I can definitely get that.
And if you add that to the way I feel about the art, I mean, I do still see potential here, but not in this particular issue. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. I was kind of disappointed here.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm still enjoying it. I get what you're saying, and I kind of feel the same way, but I'm still enjoying it. I would say more, as I gave it an 8.5. Like, it's by no means a fantastic story. It's nothing major and huge, but it's definitely enjoyable.
It has the potential to be a really good story. The idea of Silas being trapped inside Cyborg's head. I mean, they just merged Gar, and we didn't like that idea. Let's see if Silas will work. But I mean, altogether, it's not bad. I'm really worried that they've taken a possibly really good story and just kind of have mediocre execution. That's the word I'm looking
All right. Hey, toi, Brandon.
Brendan, the big BC and DC.
See, when this happens, I fear we've been talking over him for the past 5 minutes.
Yeah. I really wanted to like this title, and in the first one, again, I wasn't a fan of the art, but the idea of him going home and kind of being a Detroit-based hero and it being explained, is like, sure, he's with the Titans full time, but he can boom tube. He's just a boom tube away. So I dig that it's this whole that's what I thought we were going to get, is just like this whole cyborg story in Detroit. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool, man. Let's check this out. And then I just get that, oh, that's kind of cool, man. Let's check this out idea from what should be something making me go, oh, damn.
Yeah.
But that's just me. How about you, Brandon?
I don't know. It's just kind of solid. Like I don't really have the same kind of complaints that you do. I don't think that Cyborg necessarily needs like this big epic story. Like it's kind of just an interesting story with him and Silas and kind of reconnecting with parts of his family and Detroit and everything. It's not stellar, but it's interesting. So I'm kind of just along for the ride.
Interesting.
And I don't love the art, but it's not so bad that it's like completely ruining the experience for me. So it just got a 7.75 out of 10 for me. Like solid, nothing spectacular, but certainly nothing bad.
Yeah, I think we're about in the same boat, you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna move on to our next book, The Vigil #2, and Josh's gonna tell us about that one.
Yes, I will. Vigil #2, written by Ram V, art Lalit Kumar Sharma, colors from Rain Barreto and Lee Lowridge, letters by David Sharp, and the cover came from Sumit Kumar. And man, it's a cool cover. I love Barreto's colors too, by the way, always have, like in my top 3 favorite colors at DC. The book starts out heavy. Captain Akib Khan is is near the Malacca Strait. That's been between Malaysia and North Sumatra, where there is amazingly great coffee. There is a huge chemical explosion near his home, killing a whole mess of people, including his wife and daughter. That was before. Now, Captain Akib goes by the name Arclight, and he's breaking into Camp Weston, a weather array station where the bad guys are trying out weather manipulation, and he takes it out. Takes out a couple of guards as well when they're running past him, running from something straight out of Saga. A little kid with a speaker head. Goes by the name of El Nino.
I'm not the only person that saw that.
Nope. Right off the bat, I looked at it and went, Saga.
It's Prince Robot right there.
It is Prince Robot.
Calling him the boy seems a little reductive, but whatever. Anyway, the bad guys were finding a way to manipulate the weather with the emotions of children. Because holy comic book, the rest of the team are all off on other missions, but the most noteworthy one is Vander shooting someone that is sitting at the head of LexCorp's table. It's not Lex. He's in jail and he doesn't have hair. So I'm not sure who this is, but I do know that they are hella dead. Meanwhile, Arclight breaks through the kid's sonic screaming by being able to manipulate the ionized molecules in the air, atoms in the air. Wow, why can't I talk? My brain is shooting off now. Anyway, so he's able to force him. He's able to break through. He tells the kid, let's just relax here. And they do. They turn around. They leave together. There's an army outside waiting for them. And Arclight tells the kid to use his power but stay in control, which is apparently the speech he's been giving them as they made their way out of the cave. And just make it rain. So he does. It does. And then Arclight does. what an electricity dude would do when all of his enemies are wet. Zap. Meanwhile, in Otnion, wherever that is, some mystical space-like place with some weird stuff is floating in the air, and a naked dude is wondering out loud what Hep has done. And that's the issue. This team, a new super team like this, it's one that I'm excited for, but I feel like this book, just reading it, the summary sounds pretty straightforward. There was a lot of choppiness in my experience reading the book. Not quite so much back and forth. I don't know. A lot of it just felt like stilted or something. Just the flow wasn't quite there, especially for a Rom V book. You just expect it to happen. I hope it's not continuing to be like this, because for a monthly title, the way it is kind of structured in this book, it would be too much to keep track of. The art is great and the story is real good, but it's just crammed in and done wrong. And that left me wanting on this one. I gave this a 7 out of 10.
Interesting.
And that bums me out.
Yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence about this one. Like it has me hooked. So I'm very interested in it. I'm very curious, but I think it needs to get to a new level first before I can really, really enjoy it. So I think they're still going through the process of introducing a lot of the characters. Being issue 2,
Arclight is a badass one.
Oh God, yeah. Being issue 2 and being a team book, like I completely understand that they're going to take some time to really flesh out the characters here, and I'm all for that. But in order for me to like really give it a great review and recommendation here, I need to see a lot more substance in the overall plot. But I'll give it some time for that. Like I completely get where they're going with this. So for now, 8.5 out of 10. I still really enjoyed the story. And like Josh said, Arclight is badass.
Yes, indeed.
I kind of feel like I'm on the opposite side of you guys. I actually really enjoyed this issue quite a bit more than last month's issue. Mostly because it really gave us a clear sense of one of the characters, that being Arclight, and sort of his kind of backstory and his history and everything.
Oh,
there's a moment that I really loved where, you know, like he kind of realizes how he has to reason with this kid, and it's a flashback, or a very brief flashback to like a picture of his family.
Yeah,
and he kind of just realizes like, oh yeah, like I know how kids are because I had one once upon a time, a lifetime ago. So no, I don't know. For some reason, like this one really just kind of connected with me, and I felt like I was finally getting a sense of who some of these characters are, and you know, actually really caring more about them. So this one got an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, that's will take us on to Superman, brought to us by Brandon.
My pleasure. For this one. Oh yeah.
You're excited for this one?
Superman number 5, written by Joshua Williamson with art from Jamal Campbell and letters from Ariana Marr. A fun flashback to a few weeks ago reveals the whirlwind romance that began between Jimmy Olsen and Siobhan McDougal, aka the Silver Banshee. When we cut back to the present day, an amped up Silver Banshee has Superman and the rest of Metropolis on the ropes. The timely arrival of Supercorp brings a hypersonic cannon that, according to Mercy, will subdue Banshee's amped up powers. But Supes crushes the gun, not wanting to use such a harsh weapon. He keeps the suppressor component of the gun and runs off after Banshee. Jimmy insists on coming along so that he can reason with Banshee, and he is able to do so successfully, showing her how much he truly loves her, which was adorable. Superman then convinces Siobhan to scream into the compressor as loud as she can to tone down her power just a little. In the aftermath, Superman heads back to the old underground base of Doctors Farm and Graff, where he receives a warning about the reckoning coming from Lex Luthor and the skeletons Lex is hiding in his closet. In the lighter scene, Clark and Lois head for their unavoidable double date with Jimmy and Siobhan, as they watch her band and the bow ties perform, which I also thought was adorable. Clark feels a certain peace during this, as his hearing was damaged during Banshee's scream, and he can only hear what's in the room and nothing beyond for the first time in a while. However, this proves to be a rather unfortunate miracle for Clark, as Lex Luthor is viciously attacked while Clark is enjoying his double date. And despite all of Lex's calls for help, Superman cannot hear him. So how's that for a
cliffhanger? Heck of a cliffhanger. Before we begin, I want to play a quick little game of what is it Josh didn't like about the issue this month?
I don't know. That it was written by Joshua Williamson, that the story is not important, that it has a romance between Jimmy and Chauvin, which is ridiculous.
All of the above. That's ridiculous, but it's Jimmy Olsen. It's expected. I'm gonna say it has something to do with hearing.
Yeah, the super hearing. I don't know.
Super, yeah.
All I know is I'm still having a lot of fun with this book. The art is great. The story is fun. And I don't know, like it was just such an oddly wholesome issue. This like weird, uncanny romance between Jimmy and Chauvin, which, I mean, again, considering all the people that Jimmy's been with is not a surprise, but they're like just two dorks who found each other, and it's so sweet. So I was just like, oh, and then there's that great moment where Superman is like getting ready to fly off, and he's like, Jimmy, stay here. He's like, no, I want to go after. He's like, Jimmy, this isn't the time. And he's like, look, pal, this is my girlfriend. I love her. And I'm going with you. And I was like, you know what? Good for you, Jimmy. Like, that's Mr. Action. That's the man I want to see. So.
Exactly.
Jimmy's always been one to step up when the action gets tough.
That's a man that can turn into a turtle and still be badass.
That's what we've said. And I think we've mentioned a couple of times that Superman is great, but his supporting cast is sometimes just as great, if not even better in some cases. And this is one of those times where you just get the fun of having a character like Jimmy Olsen in Superman's life. So super fun story, very lighthearted despite the ending. Great art. Like I had a really fun time. So I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I honestly loved it too. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm still so smitten with the art. I'm just Jamal Campbell kills it in every issue for me. And I know, Brandon, you had a bit of a time getting used to his design for Superman's build, but I was in love with that design from like issue 1. I thought it was really well designed.
The first issue, like I said, it was kind of awkward for me, but everything else, like I think it kind of took me a while to really settle into it, and then now that I think. Like, I've kind of gotten used to the way that he draws Superman's figure. I'm like, okay, I'm rocking with it. So,
but like that figure, it's very reminiscent of like, I know he didn't do the art. I was gonna say Paul Dini, from the animated series, where like
I think
bigger upper
Bruce
body.
Timm did the design.
Bruce Timm, Bruce Timm design. That's the name I was trying to think of. Yeah, the Bruce Timm design, a bigger upper body, smaller lower frame.
I gotta say,
which is that for every character, but it really worked on Superman.
Oh, definitely. I gotta say, art-wise, though, my favorite probably has to be Silver Banshee in this issue, because Jamal Campbell does like this really cool effect that I've never seen anyone else do with Silver Banshee, where every time she screams, she has like these almost like silver ghosts that come out of her mouth.
And
I thought that was super cool. Like I don't know if it was literally supposed to be silver ghosts or it was just supposed to be like kind of his interpretation of how her scream would look. I assume it's the latter, but it just looked really cool.
I took that as that was the augmentation to her power set, and those ghosts were from the Phantom Zone.
That makes sense,
yeah. Which would explain the silver tone in a way, because I think in the Phantom Zone everything is that kind of color. But I agree, it looked freaking fantastic.
I mean, regardless of what it is, it looks pretty.
All right, Josh. What you got?
Let's hear it.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna fall out of my chair if he just says, I loved it.
I'm gonna read my notes verbatim. Not gonna make this sound I'm just gonna read what I have written down here.
Okay.
This one wasn't bad. It showed Jimmy and Banshee together, and seems like that's going to be solid going forward.
Hang on a second. Let me pause you for a second. I got to make space on my floor so I
Yeah.
can fall out of my chair.
I will
Holy
repeat
shit.
myself. It showed Jimmy and Banshee together, and it seems like that's going to be solid going forward. They make the most sense out of any other supervillain that he's ever dated. There's some kind of strange woman with something like a moon hat. I don't know who that is.
That was Marilyn Moon Knight.
Oh, whoops.
Moonlight from I think the second issue.
Yeah. This is okay. Farm and graft, but names associated with medicine, strangely enough. They have me wondering what Project Chained is. Lex Luthor is dying in a puddle of blood on the floor. Yes, one thing is that hold on. One thing, Superman is Superman now, right? But even if he's not, should his inner ear get hurt from a scream without kryptonite? However, that's not a huge thing with the oddities that we've had so far in this book since Williamson has taken over. The best part of this book remains to be the art, though. Jamal Campbell could make a 3-day-old turd look good. It's gorgeous, it's interesting, but I am proceeding carefully. Superman number 5 gets an 8 out of 10.
Damn.
So
nice.
I get where you got that for sure.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just watching Brandon's reaction video.
you said falling out of the chair. That's like the first thing that came into my mind. It's like How I Met Your Mother.
Barney Stinson falling out of a chair. Yeah, pretty much.
No, I got to go back and watch that series. Brandon, you're really helping. For someone that doesn't like any of the shows that I watch, you sure do like a lot of the shows that I watch.
Well, it's usually just the superhero stuff because I'm kind of burned out on that. But like sitcoms and stuff, like I feel like her comedy overlaps a lot. So
I honestly get you with the superhero stuff because I had to just give up on most of the shows because there's too much.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay. Like, how many different variations on the same thing can we do over and over again?
Like by the end of like the Netflix stuff and the Arrowverse, I was really only watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
See,
I heard Legends of Tomorrow was like, I think you told me this. You were just like, it was kind of just doing its own thing. It was like, fuck it, we're just going to have fun.
It was tied to it, but it was loosely.
Yeah. It still partook in some crossovers, but not all of them.
Yeah.
And even the episodes where it did crossover, it was just zany.
Yeah, let me put it to you like this.
Fun.
Barry in Flash fought Godspeed. The Legends of Tomorrow fought a giant blue stuffed animal named Bebo.
Oh, not they didn't fight him. They became him.
Well, yeah.
They became a giant blue stuffed animal to fight a demon lord. And they won by body slamming him.
So yeah, there's that. That's the Legend of Tomorrow. Yeah. Very, very Doom Patrol-esque with DC mainline characters.
Yeah. It was freaking fantastic. And that season, I'm watching it with my wife right now because it was the first time watching it. And we're actually in that season right now. And I cannot wait for her to get to that final battle. that season,
or the Lethal Unicorn.
Neil McDonough's Damien Dark is so freaking good. His performance in that season far outshines anything he did on Arrow. You could tell he had a blast filming that.
I bet.
So fucking good. Okay, that's for another time. That's a different podcast. Sorry. If I start talking about Legends, I'll go for like an hour and a half.
Hey man, it's no problem.
Yeah. All right.
But somebody that doesn't wait around for anybody is one Selena Kyle.
That is true.
Catwoman number 56, written by Teenie Howard, art from Marcus Toe, Marco Santucci, N.L. Sinapo, and Veronica Gandini. Take care of illustration and colors. Lucas Gattoni on lettering, and a cover from David Nakayama. Starts out a normal night in Gotham. Dario is out walking around. Catwoman is talking to Onyx about the Ivanescus, one of the crime families in Gotham, and how Eco was taking them out tonight, leaving Black Mask alone. So Selena, Marquis, and a few of the others go on a little mission. 2 times in this book, once on the back of Duchess, once with Noah's hands. It's supposed to be a shadow, I think, but it looks like some kind of starlight. I don't know. Speaking of Noah, Dario meets up with him, and of course he wants to kill Dario again. But this time Dario puts an end to it with a stab to the abdomen. Back to Catwoman and Black Mask fight, while she runs the proposal by him, of course giving him a shot, which seems to me to be insane. Streets are quiet, lots of money, no bloodshed. Everybody listens to Catwoman. No, apparently he's not cool with that. He's not having it. Marquis drives by on a motorcycle, catches him around the neck with a grappling hook, and starts pulling him down the street. Jesus. I mean, yeah, he's a psycho, and yeah, he's a leather daddy, but fuck, he ain't superhuman.
Okay, he's got his mask on. He'll be fine.
Right. So Catwoman's team, and they take out Black Mask, goons, and a warehouse with a bombshell reveal that Catwoman has been holding on to something of Roman's for a long time, and it's somehow tied to his dad's coffin. It's his mask. Like his mask is made from the lining or wood of his dad's coffin or something. I'm confused about that part, but it's probably just me. And
I was a bit confused too.
Roman talks to the mask, and he sees a letter inside of it. It's a warning from Catwoman to stay in line. Roman definitely seems like he is not going to stay in line. And Dario sends Noah the same kind of letter. It's time to put her grand plan in motion, and before that can happen, she is going to have to talk to Batman, because she knows that once he knows, he ain't gonna be happy. But she's got to talk to Batman and wait 2 months for Night Terrors. I don't know, man. Catwoman is way high up there for me. There are a couple of books that are like that in DC right now that are like Poison Ivy, for example. They are just absolute must reads, not even just because it's a good story for the characters involved, but they're just damn good stories, period. This one, it's mystery and fun at the same time, and action as well. And I feel like that's not something that's always easy to pull off. I'm not fond of Santucci and Sinapo's page 2, but generally speaking, I'm not much of a Santucci fan to begin with. Gandini's colors are spot on, though. It's just another Catwoman book, but that is a good thing. 8 out of 10. And it would have been higher if not for half of the art and the really weird star shadows. I'm wondering what the fuck that was supposed to be all about. But
yeah, I'm not sure about that. I have to go back and look for the star shadows.
It's on when Noah's hands are blacked out. It should be like just blacked out, right? But it looks like little tiny stars are in the black. And then the same thing when oh my god, what's the cat's name?
Duchess.
Duchess, thank you. Wow. When Duchess is leaving on the mission Selena sets her on, you see shadow on her back, but it's starlight again. It's really weird.
Oh, that starlight on Duchess's back, that's just part of the design. That's like the color of the fur that they've had on Duchess.
Black and sparkles?
Yeah, it's been really curious. Go back and look, like you'll see it in every time Duchess is around, you'll see that. And
I'm gonna have
it's
to.
been a point for me, like what's up with that like fur color. Like there's
Yeah,
definitely some weird stuff going on.
there has to be. I don't know what the hell it would be, but that's odd. If it's, I'm gonna have to go back and read some because I don't remember it, and that is really gonna raise some eyebrows for me.
I'm still
And
trying to.
yeah, 8 out of
Wait,
10.
it was Dario's hands.
No, Noah's hands. When after Dario stabbed him, and Noah's dying and saying, "Your dad's gonna be surprised. He was expecting you to die," or some such
Oh
shit.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I see what you're talking about.
See, it looks like the same fucking thing, don't it?
Yeah, I think that was. I don't know. That is kind of weird now that you mention it. When I was seeing it, I was kind of just like, "This is him blacking out. He's just like seeing stars." But now that you mention it like that, like yeah, that looks kind of weird.
I mean, considering it's
That's,
the exact same thing that's on the back of that cat, I'm like, what the
yeah,
hell? But I mean, in any case, I just happened to know it this time.
yeah,
Catwoman as always, man. It's good. This one got an 8 out of 10.
yeah.
Would have been a 9.
I can agree there. For me, it is a 9. But I'm just gonna gripe about the fact that while the story is kind of on pause right now, so the emotion is not there as it is with other series. I'm still kind of bugged that it's taken a 2 month pause because they definitely tease some big stuff coming with her and Batman that I've been waiting for, and now we know it's finally coming, but now we got to wait another 2 freaking months. So I'm just gonna gripe again that Night Terror is just taking over. But
I think we all are.
yeah, that's my biggest gripe. We'll see what happens. I really enjoyed it though. I thought the art was fantastic. The story is really good. Uh, I say the same thing every month. I don't know what else I can say. It's freaking good. And the story with Dario is just I'm just with it. I love it.
It's a solid issue. I didn't love it, but nothing terrible. So I ended up giving this one a 7.5. But I don't know. For some reason this month it was like it just I don't know, something about it didn't really grab me in the way that some of the previous issues had. But yeah, no, I mean, not a bad issue by any means. I do agree. I think I definitely prefer Marcus Toe's art over Marcus Santucci's.
Oh yeah,
But
hardcore.
yeah, no, it kind of felt like a very standard issue to make for some reason. So
Right on.
Well, there
All
we
right.
go.
So with that, we are getting to our last book of the week, and that is Batman Superman World's Finest number 16. And I think at a certain point they got to stop calling it Batman Superman and just call it like DC Universe World's Finest because every story arc features a lot of characters. Sure, bats and soups are the main focus every story, but let's face it, the larger DC universe is always involved, and Dick Grayson's always around. So
Right.
hell, just call it Robin.
Brave and the Bold DC Universe's Heroes and Icons World's Finest Volume 1.
Colon Robin Year Two
Ouch. Why
or
would you
some
do
shit.
that?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, speaking of Robin,
Robin
he's in
Year
the
2.
Batmobile as the onboard computer did not call OnStar and instead decided to ram right into a wall. Wait, is OnStar still a thing?
Yeah, for
Okay, I
sure.
was wondering if I just aged myself.
Oh, no, no, no.
Okay,
OnStar is definitely a thing.
'cause I
Great for
remember like
navigation and even
when
better for unlocking your car doors when you put your keys inside of them.
'cause I remember I think it was George Clooney's Batman. There was a commercial for OnStar with the Batmobile. And that's what made me think of it. That was 1998.
Oh, yeah, they're still going strong.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. All
Now they
right.
give you Wi-Fi hotspots too.
Oh shit! Right on.
Yeah, 50
Moving on
bucks a
up.
month.
Damn. Well, all the power to you. OnStar and online.
Ooh,
If they're not using that, they should.
they should pay
I
me.
take PayPal, direct deposit, uh, check.
Autographed DC prints.
I want money.
Autographed
No,
DC prints
I'll take a
trade in
print.
for money.
Yeah. All right. So the Batmobile is about to crash into a wall, but Barry Allen, as the Flash, rescues Dick Grayson at the last possible second, because that's what he does. He's the Flash. So together, Dick and Barry are talking about the AI uprising as Barry fills Dick in with what's happening. And robots and machines all over the planet are slowly taking over humanity between missiles and smartphones blowing up and missiles getting launched and humans getting locked in cages. Things are looking bleak.
Yeah, my toaster tried to attack me. Fucking Decepticons.
God damn it, Bender. This whole thing reminds me of that one episode of Futurama, and I'm loving it the whole time. Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I watched it a
Yeah,
few weeks ago, so I'm just eating
yeah,
this up.
isn't that like where mom basically has the robots rebel and oh my
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
you know what that means, right?
Enders with the greeting card.
Yeah, wait, no, you know what that means, right? That
What's that?
means new Mazo is mom.
Oh God! But
Now
if
think about that
that's
for a second.
mom,
I don't
who's
want to think
who's
about that.
who's Professor Farnsworth in this scenario?
Oh Lord,
If
yeah,
you remember how that episode ended,
yeah. I don't want to think about that part.
it's Professor Ivo.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just
Oh
gonna say
Lord.
it's Ivo.
I mean, no judgment, but you know,
Ivo.
also a lot of judgment.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yes.
And now everyone's gonna watch that episode tonight. To be fair, it's worth it. It's a great freaking show.
To be
Uh
fair.
to be fair. All right, so they are asking about Batman and Superman, and well, coincidentally, we head on over to where they are, trapped by New Mazo. But New Mazo gets a little bit distracted by other uh, scientists and trying to steal their knowledge and whatnot. While Batman, along with Oliver Queen, Blue Beetle, and Will Magnus, try to come up with a plan to escape. Meanwhile, also Hawkman is fighting a whole bunch of cyborg Supermen and Kellex, which I'm very curious. One of them definitely looks like Hank Henshaw. I don't quite know what's up with the other two. Maybe I forgot there were multiple cyborg Supermen.
Various states of Hank.
Yeah, it's
We'll just
interesting.
go with that.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
sure that
this
sounds PG, but we'll just go with that.
very oh god. This is all distraction while various other heroes are taking out a human um, Ria. What the hell do they call it? Basically, an acid melting plant where they melt down humans to be repurposed into like machinery. It's very grotesque.
I don't
But
think there's an official name for that kind of place.
I thought they gave it one.
Oh,
Reclamation plants. That's
oh,
what New Meso's
reclamation plant.
reclamation plants. But the
Okay.
heroes are saving the humans there and doing what they can, including the Metal Men, who are the only robots on the planet not taken over by the AI force.
Yeah,
Thanks
hey, real
to
quick before you go on, I just want to throw out here the whole reclamation thing in the
yeah,
book. They mentioned the movie Soylent Green. What a messed up
yes,
movie. It's an old one. Go check it out.
yeah,
Bonus points for this drop of fucked up classic cinema.
yeah. Anytime Soylent Green gets mentioned, it's worth
Oh
it.
yeah.
Which also a Futurama reference during the during during the I think it was the Brain episode where the brains attack planet Earth. It
Okay.
opened with a pet show, and at that pet show was a new dog food called Soylent Chow,
Oh no.
and the logo was a dog's head surrounded by the reduce, reuse, recycle symbol.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my God.
It's so wrong, but so good.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, so they're having a fight, they're brawling, they're doing the Donnybrook. Uh
Evan Donnybrook, are you boys?
yeah. And the metal men are doing their best to take down whatever they can and help save the day. They're taking on the cyborg Supermen while Metamorpho takes on GI Robot. Uh, very interesting fights. GI Robot gets melted by Metamorpho turning into acid. And the cyborg Supermen do get taken down, but at the cost of the metal men, who also get taken down. Um, Meanwhile, the heroes that are trapped by New Mazo put their plan into action, and with the help of various scientists under lock and key, get a bow and arrow for Oliver Queen to shoot a single arrow into in the other Ultramorpho, that's his name, Ultramorpho's chest, where there's a small crack that Superman was able to punch a kind of a crack into, and because he's Oliver Queen, hits it right on the mark. Damages Ultramorpho. Superman gets a bit of strength, breaks the collars, frees the heroes, just as the other members of the Justice League show up: Supergirl, Green Lantern, Firestorm, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Robin. Robin also with a utility belt for Batman because he lost one. Because he's Batman. Fuck it. So they make a quick plan. All the heroes are going to split up and do what they can to help save the human race. Um, as Wonder Woman and Robin go to find Anthony Ivo and get him to do what he can to help stop New Mazo. But Anthony Ivo says there's no possible way you can win. He's just too good, and I've given up. Um, the heroes then also back at the previous reclamation plant they were captured in, all split up except for Supergirl, who stays behind with Batman, saying she has her own plans, but then turns into New Mazo with heat vision and a Green Lantern ring, and Batman is alone with New Mazo. So that's happening. Um,
Well,
Good
you like
issue.
getting that.
Still, yeah, it's still really freaking good. I'm loving the art. The story's fun. It's full of heroes. Like I said, it should just be called DC Universe World's Finest at this point, because every story arc is just chock full of various characters from throughout the universe, and this one especially so has pretty much everyone. Uh, it's a fun story about the extinction of the human race. It's probably the best way I could put it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
suppose.
yeah, it's honestly just 9.25 out of 10. There's a lot of great comedy, a lot of great dialogue, a lot of great action scenes. Seeing Ted, Oliver, and Bruce just together trying to like three tech billionaires trying to figure their way out, being the only three without superpowers, and they're on the freaking Justice League. It was great to see, and it made me think I would love to see a trio of those three just in a story by themselves. I think would be really interesting to see them get out of tough scrapes
Instead
and
of
butt
the
heads a
trench coat,
lot.
yeah, it's like instead of the trench coat brigade, like the billionaires, the billionaire
Yeah,
brigade.
yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, like that should be Mark Wade's next spinoff book.
It'll just be Bruce Wayne, Ollie Queen, Ted Cord, and who else am I missing?
Oprah.
Tony Stark. No, wait.
Tony Stark.
there, there is one more, isn't there?
Yeah. Who am I
Which
Wait a
forgetting?
minute. Wait a minute. Are there no female billionaires in DC? What about Cressida from oh
yeah,
shit.
she's the Court of Owls. She's not a
Yeah.
hero.
Oh
Mr.
I
yeah.
know.
Terrific, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, not even technically. He is a billionaire now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I was
It
gonna
would
say,
just be set in the past or the present.
yeah, that's true. Does Michael
Yeah,
Holt around?
that's true.
Yeah.
So no female billionaires in
Not
DC.
not that
Yeah, not in
not that
heroic
I know
ones
of.
that I can think
Not
of.
anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
there wasn't Jeff John's Flash run. I mentioned Mark Wade's as well. Jesse Quick was the head of Quick Start.
it's true. But even that was like, the late
I
'90s,
completely
early
forgot about that.
2000s.
Yeah, it was 20 years.
Yeah, that'll
Sounds like
fly,
a good
baby.
time though.
Yeah.
Does she even own
That's
Quick Start anymore? Or did that fail? They never really
I
mentioned it after his run.
think in book 3, which would have been around issue, I think in the early 200s, or maybe
Yeah.
it was up to 200, was where I finished off. That's where
Okay.
she lost the company, I think,
Right.
if I remember right. Yeah.
Did she? Okay. I must have forgotten that. 'Cause that book is like 189 to 200, and all I really remember is the Grodd storyline. There are a couple of the Rogues one and dones, the Secret Files issue with Hunter, and then Blitz. But I don't
Yeah.
remember. Oh wait, you know what? That was probably in the
That was
Blitz
during
like
Blitz.
epilogue. Yeah. Okay. Wait. No,
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
guess I forgot how she lost it then.
It was kind of vague. Like,
Yeah,
I
because
think
it was
there were, unless it
actually,
was in
yeah,
another book that I
right,
haven't read yet. If it was like Impulse or
maybe,
something.
yeah. Well, because she was also in Titans at that time.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because I think I remember where that was, because that was probably in the last. It's a total fucking tangent. I'm sorry, but it's on my mind. But it's probably like the last page of issue 200, because they did like that thing of like, where is everyone? And it says like, oh, Bart's gone off to join the Teen Titans because Jeff Johns is writing the Teen Titans in 2002.
Yeah.
And then I'll have to go through that issue again, but that's probably where they mentioned like, oh, Jesse lost the start. But maybe there was like more context to that in Titans. I just don't know. I haven't
It could
finished
have
that.
been.
That's it.
From
Yeah.
what I remember, like she was just talking to Wally, because every time she
Yeah.
gets shown in the Flash, it's Quick starts having issues and she's gotta
Yeah.
like
She's
fix
not
some
trying to
stuff.
deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like her billions got taken away or something. Or the company was starting to fail or whatnot. Either way, she was like going to start to take more time to be a hero
Yeah.
and be with family.
Yeah. Oh man. But again, that's totally tangent, but I love that run so much. So the fact that you're reading it now, and it's like I'm vicariously rereading it through you, is a joy. Is a joy.
Yeah. I got to get book 4.
I know. Well, I can't wait for you to get to Rogue's War. That's like just the ultimate storyline.
What do you remember? Which issue that is? Wait,
That
which
is
issues?
like that'll be in book 5, and that's like
okay.
220 or 219 to 225, and that's the last arc that Jeff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the Flash, at least for that part of the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. World's Finest.
right. Okay.
I don't even know how we ended. Oh yeah, we were talking about female billionaires.
Oh
then.
yeah.
Yeah. Jesse Quick. Yeah. Yeah. So I gave World's Finest 9.25 out of 10. It's honestly, if you haven't been reading it the past year and a half, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh man, I don't know. Okay, so I do have a gripe with this. I can't with the title specifically, not just the issue. When is this taking place? Is this just an alternate universe? Because there's AI, smartphones, and Kid Flash. Wally is Kid Flash.
That's the whole problem with the sliding timeline is technically, judging by the ages, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah. Which,
and that
would have been 2013.
Yeah, and as far as smartphones and high technology goes, yeah, I could definitely see that. And AI in our world may not have been a thing, but this is a world where robots with artificial intelligence have existed already, and aliens have superpowers. So I'm not going to put it past them to have AI in 2013 if that's the year they're putting it in. Yeah,
trying to figure it, because I don't know why. I just felt like when World's Finest started out, I just got this late 60s, early 70s kind of feel to it. Just
I
the
mean, I
just the
think that was the point, but like
Updated.
it wouldn't necessarily make sense to take place 50 fucking years ago. You
Yeah.
know?
It's essentially like the way it is described the series is like the sensibilities and storytelling of the 60s set in the modern age, which makes sense, as Rob said, with the sliding timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't really be in the 70s because they'd be like 80 years old. So it wouldn't really make sense.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like I said, that was just a little great because I mean, going into this, I mean, the way it's set up, you got to go into it as just not thinking about it, and if you do that, then you're having some mindless fun reading the title. And the art is just so damn pretty.
Mhm.
The stories are not award winners, but they will keep you turning the pages. And again, Dan Mora, Dan Mora, Dan Mora. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you, my man. Oh,
Can't
it's so
knock
beautiful.
I don't forget the colors. I didn't even say the credits, but the colors from Tamara Bonvillain I think
Oh
also
yeah,
make it
always.
work fantastically.
And it's messed up, but I never considered Amazo absorbing Clayface's powers.
I like there really wasn't a shapeshifter there at the time, so that's a good point. I would have assumed it was Martian Manhunter.
I mean, I could see that, but Martian Manhunter more takes shape than melts. And like Clayface, when he changes, he kind of melts. Well, they both do. They kind of melt into what it is that they're changing into. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It could have just been me. I don't know why. Whenever I see
Oh, you have a
Clayface
point.
changing form in a comic book, I see Vitas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's definitely there.
yep. But I gave it a 7.75 out of 10.
Right on.
Yeah, this one I gave an 8.25 out of 10. Solid story, great art as usual. Like what more could you possibly want? And uh, extra points to Rob for pointing out the similarities between this and the Robot Revolution episode of Futurama, which I had totally forgotten about. But the second you said it, I was like, oh my god, it literally is. And that made me smile, just imagining all of these characters in a Futurama-esque setting.
Yeah. It was even down to like the ceiling light. Like the
Yeah,
ceiling fan was like
seriously.
beating the shit out of people. It's just fantastic. And if you haven't watched Futurama in the past 20 years, do yourself a favor, start from episode 1 and enjoy. It
Yeah.
is easily, in my opinion, the best adult cartoon ever made.
Okay, it's definitely in my top five for sure. It might even be number one. I don't know if I've gotten as much enjoyment from any other adult cartoon as Futurama.
I mean, exactly that. Like a lot of the jokes. This is why I say this as is number one, because it takes place in the future, 1,000
Mhm.
years into the future. So many jokes. There are occasionally a few jokes that are dated for 20 years ago, but so many are just timeless because
Yeah,
they're jokes about the future. Like it still holds up all these years later, and it's also got smart humor. Like if you actually know a lot about science and mathematics, there's all these hidden jokes that are just hilarious if you get them. I don't remember what the translation was, but there was the haunted mansion episode. The Bender's
Mhm.
great uncle left him a mansion, and it was quote unquote haunted by robots. And there was some binary left bloody on the wall, and it actually translated to something, but I don't remember what it translated to, but it was a joke.
Huh.
Uh,
Yeah. Is it
yeah,
the one where he like turns into a wear car?
yeah, that was the
Oh
Werecar
my,
episode.
what the
Yeah,
fuck? You're like unearthing all these things from my brain because I haven't done a proper Futurama rewatch and I mean probably since I finished the series when it was I don't even remember when it stopped airing when it went off the air. It was like 2014 or something. But yeah, man, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Now you're making me want to rewatch Futurama.
you should join us. We're
Really
only on
should.
season 2.
I know. Damn. Well, I pretty regularly rewatch the first Xmas episode around the
Yeah,
holiday
yeah.
season. 'Cause that one is a classic.
Santa
Robot
bot,
Santa is
robot
just
Santa. Yeah.
like
Oh,
just
oh,
incredible.
oh.
Oh,
Voiced by the incomparable John Goodman.
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
My
And
favorite joke just has to be like he's ready to waste all of these guys in the Planet Express building, and then he has to take a brief moment, and he's just like, actually, before I kill all of you, Zoidberg, here's a pogo stick. You're actually pretty good this year. I'm like,
yeah.
I gotta honor my word.
Yeah.
Now the rest of you prepare to die.
I think my favorite joke of the series, the one that I always come back to that I always find hilarious,
Um,
is actually in the Werecar episode. Bender's having unless was it that one or was it the Richard Nixon episode? When Bender sells his body, he has a nightmare. He's having a bad dream, and he just sees ones and zeros everywhere. And he wakes up screaming, and Fry gets him and says, "Bender, Bender, are you okay? This is ones and zeros everywhere." And I thought I saw a two.
oh my
Fry was like,
God.
"It's okay, Bender. There's no such thing as two."
Oh,
But
I don't
but
remember that.
if you look at the dream sequence, there's actually a two on the screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just such a nice, funny little Easter egg. Like if you catch it, you're like, "Is that a two?" And then Bender's like,
Yeah,
"That was a fucking two."
he was right. The man did not lie.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, it's such a timeless show.
Yeah, no,
So
seriously.
good. Yeah. Anyway, um, that's for another podcast called Geek
The
Matrix Screens.
yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah.
we've talked about World's Finest. What about ours?
Exactly. Yeah. Our top 3 books of the week. Our world's finest and favorite moment, if you had one. I definitely had a favorite moment this week. Um, I'll start us off with the top 3 because 2 of my books you can hear a review for in our uh, subscriber podcast. If
Mhm.
you're not subscribed to our
Bonus.
Discord channel, definitely do that, and you can hear about even more books and more fun from the 3 of us. We have some quite a few books actually for the bonus episode this week, and 2 of the books that we would be covering are in my top 3. Number 3, one of them is Titans. If you want to know why, definitely check it out. Number 2 is World's Finest, as we just talked about. And number 1 is Nightwing. And again, if you want to know why, you got to check out that subscriber special. It is just a lot of fun. And my favorite moments, of course, it's about Green Lantern, but not. It's kind of accidentally about Green Lantern. Batman telling Hal to take all these satellites and distribute them across the earth, and so Hal just like, but isn't that what the robots want? Wait, never mind, you're Batman. Forget I said anything.
Right.
Yeah.
By this time, Hal knows it's pointless to argue. He never used
Exactly.
to, but now he does. Now he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. All right,
What
who's
about you,
next?
Brandon? What was your top 3?
At number 3, I had Superman. Number 2 was Batgirl's number 19. But number 1 was actually The Vigil this week. It's probably my favorite thing that I read. And for as much fun as I had with World's Finest, this one really just kind of connected with me this week.
Right on.
But I think my favorite moment has to be. I mean, there are so many great ones to choose from in Superman, but
Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't hear what book you picked for number 1.
oh, I had The Vigil number 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But I think my favorite moment. There were so many good ones from Superman. I'm fine, but I think my favorite one has to be just when Jimmy really steps in. And he's like, "Hey, pal, I'm coming with you," and then it's just like a hard cut, and they're flying through the sky. And that was, I don't know why, that just made me laugh. But I was also like, good for Jimmy. Like he's got some agency and he's going after the woman he loves. So good for him.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was. Well, for my top 3 this week, I had 3 books that were 7.5 or higher on this particular podcast. However, my top 3 are not number 3, Titans number 2, number 2, Batgirls number 19, and number 1, Nightwing number 105. And again, like Rob said, if you want to hear why, you're going to have to hit that $2.99. Go to the website, thegeekmatrixpod.com. Click the link to join our Discord. $2.99 later, you get to listen to all of our bonus shows, extra stuff, and argue with us. I mean, get along with us and have fun. Laugh and stuff. Argue with me.
There's a lot of arguing.
Just with me. In this podcast, not counting the moments from the bonus show, my favorite moment, and forgive me, but it was Lex's stabbing. I don't know if either of you watched Sons of Anarchy. Probably not. Nah. But after several scenes,
my bag.
There was this scene in it where it was in prison, and this character Opie that you've come to love like a whole bunch gets really screwed. He's a super nice guy. Should not be in prison. And you see him get screwed and get beaten to death. It was Sons of Anarchy was a hugely popular show, and it was so emotional. I swear that half the country cried in unison. And I got the same like feeling here. It's not that I love Lex, but maybe it's just because he loves Lex, how long he's been in my life. But watching him get stabbed like that, so brutally, it felt real and emotional. And maybe it's just because I love to hate him. But Lex Luthor is not allowed to die. It was amazing the way the artwork was done. The way if artwork can evoke that kind of fucking emotion from me out of a comic book, then bravo. That was my favorite moment.
I think it also helps that just before that, he was trying to talk to Superman, not knowing that he can't hear him, and said, "Yeah, this has been a great partnership. Maybe things would have been different if I actually worked with you in Smallville." Yeah. And just like really looking like he's having a real change of heart, and then all of a sudden, nope, you're getting prison shanked.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the catalyst to Lex Luthor not changing. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Where were you? I was counting on you. You said this watch would save me.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
But I don't think it did.
No, definitely not. All right. Well, that I think is our show. Any last thoughts?
No, I don't think so. Cyborg and the Vigil kind of bummed me out, but I mean, nothing horrible or spectacular to make note of, other than that Lex Luthor moment. That was just like, wow.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, that is our show. So if you feel like supporting us, definitely check out our Discord server, as Josh said earlier, for only $2.99 a month. Visit our website, thegeekmatrixpod.com, for links to our Twitter, Instagram, Discord shows, and more. And as always, be careful out there. Remember, in the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.